My name's Kathy Vincent, and I work with Whitaker Group and our auction platform is iowauctions.com. So my specialty is doing estate and auctions in preparation for real estate transactions. So typically I'm hired either by the individual who owns the property, or a lot of times it's family members who have been left with more things than they know what to do with and just want a little guidance on where to start. So what's unique about our auction system is that we sell the items right from where they're located. So it allows the individual to just focus on what items are important to them as far as what they want to keep and take with them or keep within the family as far as keepsakes or heirlooms, and essentially hand me the key to the property and walk away and leave everything else there. And then we set the auction up on site. So if you're selling the picture that's hanging on the wall, I come into the house, take a picture of that piece of artwork, describe any signatures, any particulars about it, measurements, gather all the details, and tag it, but it essentially stays on that spot on the wall until the buyer that we then find comes to pick it up, and we facilitate the whole process beginning to end. Some of my favorite stories are just spending time with the clients. The trend seems to be and one that I really encourage people to do is folks are starting to liquidate their personal property while they're still living, not waiting for the generations after them to kind of have to clean it up for them. And the neat part about that is when they can participate in preparing the auction with me, they can share their story. Every person has a story. I'll give you an example of actually an auction you and I just did together. In an envelope, I found 3 pieces of wood. If you just looked at them, they just looked like wood shims. And had the family member not been there to tell me they were actually a piece of the naval ship that he had served on, that story would have been lost. There was no way to tell just by looking at it to me or anyone else. And so those are the stories, the things that I really enjoy. I had a farmer who he was showing me the things he wanted me to sell, and we walked by what he thought was the scrap pile. It was headed for the garbage. And I saw a typewriter there that I knew was valuable, and I asked him if I could sell it with the things that he thought were valuable, and it went for $700, and he was going to throw it away. So things like that are always fun too. And I can't tell you how many people that I'm working with, they say, oh, nobody probably wants this junk that I have. And then when they're there to see the person who comes to pick it up and how excited they are to get it. I had one family that they had lost everything they owned in a fire, and they came with a trailer and bought a large portion of the auction because it basically furnished their home to start all over, and they were so excited. And then the children came and they were picking out their beds, and the family who was selling got to see that. So they got to see that it wasn't just going into the landfill or wasn't junk, it was very valued by them. I do a lot of the hands-on inspecting the items. We really try to disclose if something's broken or busted or doesn't work. We try to be upfront about that. So I like to handle a lot of the items. But on pickup day, when we'll empty a house out in about 4 hours. So I don't do that by myself. That takes a few more people on hand. As far as if somebody wanted to start the process, they would just call, email or text. We use technology so they can get a hold of us anyway, but I always encourage them to start with just a free consultation. It's really beneficial to have the consultation before they start making decisions about what they want to do with the real estate, and because we have advice and suggestions on how to make that easier for them, explaining what we can and can't do right from the get-go. And our territory, we cover the whole state of Iowa. Our buyers are all across the world, definitely nationwide. We have a strong presence. If they want to get a hold of us, phone number is probably the best. It's 515-231-0294 and iowauctions.com.